Frank Delano Gore is an American football running back for the Indianapolis Colts of the National Football League. He played college football for the University of Miami, and was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the third round of the 2005 NFL Draft, playing with them from 2005 to 2014. He is the 49ers' all-time leading rushing yards and rushing touchdowns leader. Throughout his 10-year NFL career, Gore has often been ranked among the best and most respected running backs playing the game, having been selected to 5 Pro Bowls and has had 8 1,000 rushing yards seasons. While achieving some personal success, he struggled with a team that suffered numerous losing seasons until he and the 49ers achieved a 13-3 record in the 2011 season under new head coach Jim Harbaugh. In 2011, the 49ers won the NFC West division and reached the NFC Championship game. In 2012, Gore helped lead the 49ers to Super Bowl XLVII. In 2011, Gore became the 49ers' career rushing yards leader, and in 2012 he became the 49ers' rushing touchdowns leader. In 2014, Gore became the 29th player to have rushed for over 10,000 yards. Gore is one of only 3 players to have 9 consecutive seasons with 200 or more carries, while also maintaining an average of 4 yards per carry or better. The other 2 players to accomplish this are Hall of Famers Jim Brown and Barry Sanders. Early years, Gore was born in Miami, Florida. He grew up in Coconut Grove, Florida, and attended Coral Gables High School, where he excelled as a running back. He had 2 notable record-breaking games. Against Miami Northwestern High School, he had a then-career-high 293 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 carries. In the next game, he broke that record with 319 yards and 6 touchdowns on 13 carries against number 3 ranked offense in the nation. During his senior year in 2000, Gore broke several Dade County single-season records, including rushing yards and touchdowns. Heavily recruited, he was named the number 1 prospect in Dade County by the Miami Herald, number 4 in Florida and number 5 nationally. While emerging as a talented football prospect, Gore also focused his attention on improving his academics and assisting his mother, who was battling kidney disease and had started dialysis treatments. To remain close to home, Gore eventually chose to attend the University of Miami. College career: Gore had a scholarship to attend the University of Miami. As a true freshman for the Miami Hurricanes football in 2001, Gore totaled 820 yards with 12 touchdowns on 62 carries as a backup to Clinton Portis on Miami's 2001 national championship-winning team. Frank has the 3rd best season total in school history by a freshman and was named Sporting News Big East Freshman of the Year. He suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee before spring practice in 2002 and spent the following season recovering from knee surgery. Before his injury that year, Gore beat out Willis McGahee in the spring of 2002 for the role as the Hurricanes' starting running back. Gore returned in 2003 and rushed for 100 yards in each of his first 5 games of the season. He also returned for his senior year in 2004, when his cousin, Kim Gibson, asked him to change his uniform number from number 32 to number 3 for better luck. He then ran for nearly 1,000 yards during the season. In 28 total games with the Hurricanes, Gore rushed 380 times for 1,975 yards and 17 touchdowns. His 1,975 yards rank 7th on the school's career record list and his 17 scores are tied for 10th. He also caught 25 passes for 985 yards, returned 2 kickoffs for 48 yards and recorded 5 tackles on special teams. Professional career: 2005 NFL Draft Gore was selected 65th overall in the 3rd round of the 2005 NFL Draft by the 49ers, signing a 3-year contract on July 28, 2005. San Francisco 49ers 2005 season, Gore played in 14 games, starting 1. He was inactive for 2 contests with a groin injury. He finished the season 7th among all NFL rookie running backs in rushing average with 4.8 average per run. He led the team in rushing with 608 yards on 127 carries and 3 rushing touchdowns. Gore also caught 15 passes for 131 yards. The last time a rookie led the 49ers in rushing was 1990, when Dexter Carter paced the team with 460 yards. His 608 yards rushing was the highest for a 49ers rookie since Roger Craig had 725 yards rushing in 1983. He rushed for 17 yards on 4 carries and caught 2 passes for 21 yards in his first game against the St. Louis Rams. He later rushed for 42 yards on 7 carries with a 5.4-yard average against the Dallas Cowboys. He led the team with 89 yards on 9 carries and recorded a then-career-long 72-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter at the Washington Redskins. The touchdown was the longest run from scrimmage by a 49ers player since running back Van Barlow took 178 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The touchdown run was 5th longest run from scrimmage by a 49ers rookie. He led the team in rushing for the 3rd straight week with 55 yards on 14 carries at the Chicago Bears, with a 19-yard long. He made his first NFL start against the Jacksonville Jaguars, amassing over 100 combined yards with 79 yards rushing on 19 attempts for a 4.2-yard average with 3 receptions for 57 yards. Gore had his first 2-touchdown game against the St. Louis Rams, with a 10-yard scoring run in the second quarter and a 30-yard score in the fourth quarter. In a game against the Houston Texans, he registered his first 100-yard game with 108 yards on 25 carries. Following the season, he had major surgery on both shoulders. 2006 season, Gore was elevated to the top of the San Francisco 49ers depth chart following the August 19, 2006 trade that shipped incumbent starter Van Barlow to the New York Jets in exchange for a 4th-round draft pick. He emerged as one of the top running backs in the NFL in his first full season as the starter. Gore carried the ball 312 times for a franchise record 1,695 yards, eclipsing Garrison Hearst's unregistered trademark 1998 record of 1,570 yards. He became the first member of the 49ers to lead the NFC in rushing yards. He also set a franchise record with 2,180 combined yards, breaking Hearst's unregistered trademark single-season record of 2,105 total yards set in 1998. His total placed him second in the NFC to Steven Jackson and 4th overall in the entire NFL. In the 49ers unregistered trademark first meeting against the Seattle Seahawks, Gore set the 49ers unregistered trademark single-game rushing record by totaling 212 yards on 24 carries, besting the 201 yards by Charlie Garner on September 24, 2000 against the Cowboys. Gore had 9 100-yard rushing games in 2006, giving him 10 for his career. His 9 100-yard games in 2006 shattered the franchise record for most 100-yard games in a season. Garrison Hearst and Roger Craig each had 6 100-yard games in a season. Gore was the first 49ers running back to have 3 straight 100-yard games since Garrison Hearst had a 49ers record 4 straight 100-yard games during a stretch in 1998. In those 3 weeks, Gore set the team record for most rushing yards in a 3-game span. His breakaway ability helped him finish the season with 5.4 yards per carry, placing him 3rd in the entire NFL, behind only Michael Vick and Morris Jones-Drew. The 5.4 yards per carry are tied for the second best in 49ers history. Among players with over 300 carries, however, Gore's unregistered trademark season puts him in elite company. Very few times has a player averaged as many yards per carry as Gore did, while carrying the ball over 300 times. The players ahead of him are all Hall of Famers and feature 3, 2,000-yard rushing seasons. He finished with 8 rushing touchdowns, tied for the 3rd most in a season by a 49er. Gore finished the season with 61 receptions, which led the team. Only 2 other teams had a running back as their leading receiver, New Orleans and Philadelphia. Of those, only Gore and Westbrook also led their team in rushing. He also caught his first receiving touchdown of his career at Seattle, when Alex Smith avoided a sack and found Gore along the left sideline for a 20-yard score. He led the NFL with 16 rushes for 20 or more yards. Gore earned NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors twice during the 2006 season. He grabbed the honor in Week 5 after rushing for 134 yards on 27 carries, and catching 3 passes for 38 yards, against the Oakland Raiders. He also won in Week 11 after his franchise record 212 rushing yards, and 26 yards on 4 receptions, against Seattle. After Gore unregistered trademark's tremendous season, he was named the starting running back to the NFC Pro Bowl team. It was Gore unregistered trademark's first selection to the Pro Bowl. Gore had benefited that season from the tutelage of then offensive coordinator Nav Turner, whose offensive scheme places a heavy emphasis on running the football. Though Gore had fumbling problems at the beginning of the season, losing the ball once in each of the first 4 games, he improved his carrying and only fumbled 3 more times the rest of the year. 2007 season. Gore signed a contract extension through 2011 estimated to be worth $28 million over 4 years on March 28, 2007. He also stated that it is his goal to surpass Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record in 2007. He said that he would gain 2,200 yards. Gore broke a bone in his hand in the non-contact training camp drill on July 30 and missed the entire preseason. On September 13, Gore's mother died, due to a kidney disease. He missed a practice, but returned to the team and scored 2 touchdowns the following Sunday in a 17-16 win over the St. Louis Rams. Gore's best game came against the Arizona Cardinals, where he came up with 116 rushing yards and 98 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. He finished the season with 1,102 rushing yards and 436 receiving yards. 2008 season. Gore began the 2008 season against the eventual NFC champion Arizona Cardinals, where he rushed for 96 yards on only 14 carries. Despite his impressive performance, which also included a 41-yard touchdown run, the 49ers lost, 23-13. In Week 3, he dominated the Detroit Lions, rushing for over 120 yards with a touchdown in a 31-13 victory. The following week against the New Orleans Saints, Gore outrushed Reggie Bush, although the 49ers were defeated, 31-17. In Week 6, Gore had his second 100-yard game of the season, as he rushed for 101 yards on 19 carries in a 40-26 defeat against the Philadelphia Eagles. In a Week 17 matchup against the visiting Washington Redskins, Gore became the first running back in 49ers history to rush for 1,000 yards or more in 3 straight seasons. 2009 season. Gore entered the 2009 season under the guidance of new running back coach Tom Rathman. He was also complemented by a new second-string back, 49ers third-round draft pick Glenn Coffey. After being nearly shut down in Week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals, Gore had a career day the following week in the home opener versus the Seattle Seahawks. Gore rushed for 206 yards for a 12.8-yard average, including a 79 and an 80-yard touchdown run, becoming the second player in NFL history to rush for 2 touchdowns for 75 yards or more in a single game, with the other being Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders. Morris Jones-Drew would become the third running back to also rush for 2 touchdowns for 75 yards in a single game. After missing his next 2 games against the St. Louis Rams and Atlanta Falcons due to an ankle injury, Gore returned in Week 7 against the Houston Texans. While he had a successful game against the Chicago Bears in Week 10, gaining 104 yards with a touchdown, he was used less in the 49ers' offensive game plan in the following 3 weeks, after the team adopted more of a spread offense. In the 49ers' second game against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 14, however, Gore had one of his most successful games of the season, rushing for 167 yards on 25 carries and 1 touchdown. In the 49ers game against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 16 of the season, Gore had 16 carries for 107 yards against an Eagles team that had not given up a 100-yard game in 22 consecutive games. Gore was named a first alternate for the 2009 Pro Bowl. On January 20, 2010, Steven Jackson announced he would not be playing in the Pro Bowl because of injury, so Gore was named to the 2010 Pro Bowl in his spot, the second of his career. 2010 season, Gore had a productive start to the season, rushing for 853 yards and 3 TD. He had rushed for 4 100-yards games before fracturing his right hip in a Week 12 win over the Arizona Cardinals, ending his season after the 49ers put him on IR. 2011 season, Gore agreed to a 3-year extension on August 30, 2011. Worth $25.9 million, the extension kept Gore with the San Francisco 49ers through the 2014 season. During the off-season, the 49ers hired Jim Harbaugh to be their new head coach and built themselves around a combination of a great running game, a supplemental passing game and a powerhouse defense. This combination proved to be effective for Gore and the 49ers, leading them to a 13-3 record in the regular season and a playoff spot for the 49ers, their first since 2002 along with a first-round bye. In the first 3 games of the season, Gore did not perform well, rushing for 148 yards on 59 carries for only 1 touchdown. However, after Week 3, this changed. In Week 4, the 49ers were down 23-3 at the end of the first half when quarterback Alex Smith and Gore both led drives to make the end score 24-23 and a 49ers win. Gore rushed for 127 yards and rushed for the game-winning touchdown when 4 minutes were left in the game. Against the Buccaneers, Gore rushed for 125 yards and 1 touchdown in the 48-3 win for the 49ers. However, his performance in that game was eclipsed by his performance against the Detroit Lions, where he rushed a season-high of 141 yards and 15 carries and a touchdown in a 25-19 win for the 49ers, ruining the Lions' 5-0 start. The next few games went pretty well for Gore, rushing for 134 yards and a touchdown against the Cleveland Browns and 107 yards against the Redskins, becoming the 49ers records holder of most consecutive games with 100 yards. However, against the Giants, Gore had an unmemorable performance, rushing for 0 yards and leaving in the second half with a knee injury. This was Gore's first game with 0 rushing yards. He would return the next game, where he would redeem himself against the Arizona Cardinals, where he rushed for 88 yards and a touchdown. Next week, however, he rushed for only 39 yards against the Ravens' powerful defense and 49ers' 6-16 loss. The next game, however, proved to be a 49ers win against the St. Louis Rams, where Gore became the 49ers' all-time leading rusher, surpassing Joe Perry. He rushed for 73 yards on the game. The next week Gore performed well despite losing the game 19-21, rushing for 78 yards and the 49ers' only touchdown. He managed to finish the season on a high note, with a 3-game winning streak, including one against the Steelers, where he rushed 65 yards and a touchdown. He finished the season with 1,211 yards, having had 5 seasons with at least 1,000 rushing yards. During the playoffs, Gore performed exceedingly well, helping the 49ers set up a touchdown by rushing for 42 yards in the divisional round versus the Saints. He had a total of 89 yards in the game. During the NFC Championship, Gore rushed for 74 yards against the New York Giants. 2012 season. The 2012 season started with a huge performance against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field with 112 yards with a score in a 30-22 San Francisco win. In Week 4, against the New York Jets he had 64 yards along with a touchdown in a 34-0 blowout win in New York. The next week, he had 106 yards and another score in 45-3 win against the Buffalo Bills. In Week 7, he was the crucial player in a San Francisco 13-6 win against division rival Seattle Seahawks with 131 yards rushing in 16 carries and 51 yards and 5 receptions. He then had a 7-game streak with 50 rushing yards or more until it was snapped against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle in a 42-13 loss. He ended the season with 1,214 yards on 258 carries and 8 touchdowns. He was selected to play in the Pro Bowl, his 4th appearance. In the playoffs, the 49ers faced the Green Bay Packers once again, this time in Candlestick Park. He had 119 yards and a score. The San Francisco 49ers then visited the Georgia Dome to play against the top-seeded Atlanta Falcons. The game was completely dominated in the first quarter by the Falcons, with receiver Julio Jones having 100 yards and the 49ers -2. They went into halftime with the Falcons leading 24-14. The game would end up with the San Francisco 49ers winning 28-24 when Navarro Bowman made a stellar defensive play to stop the Falcons on 4th down inside the 49ers' 10-yard line. During the NFC Championship game versus the Atlanta Falcons, Frank Gore had 90 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in the comeback 28-24 win, allowing the 49ers to go to Super Bowl XLVII, their first Super Bowl since 1994. In the Super Bowl, Gore had 19 carries for 110 yards and a touchdown, but the 49ers lost the game 34-31 to the Baltimore Ravens. 2013 season, Gore entered the season with a lot questions about his age, having turned 30 during the off-season. He responded by having a great season playing in all 16 regular season games. Gore's season got off to a slow start, only rushing for 60 yards in the first 2 weeks of the season. A Week 3 loss to the Indianapolis Colts in which he had 82 rushing yards on only 11 carries had the media questioning why the team wasn't running the ball more. In Week 4 Gore had a big game rushing for 153 yards and a TD on 20 carries. Gore and the running game would lead the 49ers to 5 straight wins. In Week 14 he had a 51-yard run with 4 minutes left that helped secure a 19-17 win against the Seattle Seahawks. Gore had 3 100-yard games and finished with 1,128 yards and 9 TDs on 279 carries. 2014 season, Gore entered the season only needing 33 yards to reach the 10,000-yard mark for his career. He would get them in the first game of the season, rushing for 66 yards in the season opener. Gore became the 29th player in NFL history to rush for 10,000 career yards. The 49ers went away from the running game until Week 4 when Gore rushed for 119 yards on 24 carries. He also had a career-long 55-yard receiving TD against the Philadelphia Eagles. The next week he rushed for 107 yards on 18 carries against the Kansas City Chiefs. Throughout the season Gore would climb up the NFL's all-time rushing yards list, passing some impressive names along the way, names like Eddie George, Tki Barber, Jamal Lewis, Ricky Watters, and Warrick Dunn. The 49ers struggled all season to find an identity on offensive, which led to an 8-8 record causing them to miss the playoffs, so the team decided to end the season featuring the running game and Frank Gore. Gore rushed for 158 yards and season-long 52-yard TD on 26 carries against the San Diego Chargers, and in what could have been Frank Gore's final game with the 49ers he rushed for 144 yards on 25 carries. Gore finished the season with 255 carries, 1,106 rushing yards and 4 TDs. Gore became the 20th player in NFL history to rush for 11,000 career rushing yards. He's currently 20th on the all-time rushing yards list. Indianapolis Colts 2015 season, on March 10, 2015, Gore signed with the Indianapolis Colts. His contract includes $8.5 million in guarantees. Prior to signing with the Colts, it was widely reported that Gore had agreed to a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles on March 9 to replace LeSean McCoy. However, the following day several sources claimed that Gore had second thoughts about his agreement, and instead signed with Indianapolis. Career statistics Regular season Postseason References External links Career statistics and player information from NFL.com, €cent ESPN, €cent Yahoo. Sports a Eurocent SI.com a Eurocent Pro Football Reference a Eurocent Roto World, official website, Indianapolis Colts bio, San Francisco 49ers bio, Miami Hurricanes bio.